you solemnly swear to affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Please have a seat. Mr. Pius, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Please record. Do you need a moment?
Yeah, it's the first time I've seen Kaylee or Casey in a week. Go ahead. I'll be all right. Go ahead.
All right.
Yeah.
Can you state your name and relationship to Casey Anthony?
Cynthia M. Marie Anthony. I'm her mother.
Okay. You go by Cindy?
Yes.
Cindy, what's your profession?
I'm a registered nurse.
How long have you lived in Orlando?
Since 1989.
Okay. And how long has Casey lived in Orlando?
Since 1989.
Okay. So what age was she when she moved here?
She was 3. It was just before her 4th birthday.
So is it fair to say that she has ties in Central Florida?
Oh, absolutely. All her friends are here.
Okay. Cindy, when was the last time you saw Kaylee?
Well, I thought it was June the 8th.
Okay, why do you say you thought it was June the 8th?
Because I was adamant it was June the 8th up until last evening, when it was brought to my attention by the deputies that it could be June the 15th, Father's Day.
Okay. And what makes you believe now it's June 15th?
I know for a fact it's June 15th because the little video clip that was shot that's playing over and over again with her reading Separate Time for Frida Pleasy Pause, I shot that when she was visiting my father. I couldn't remember going on Father's Day because I go almost every week, but I don't take Kaylee that often. And I thought it was the last day of my vacation, which was the 8th. But my mother, I called her as I told the detectives that I would be able to confirm that with my mom because you sign in the book where my dad is. I signed in Cindy and Kaylee to visit my father. And also my mom, every night, she writes a letter to my aunt, who's a widow, and my mom's by herself now with my dad in the nursing home for the last almost 2 years.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to this not being responsive to the last question.
Okay, now tell me, can you tell the court how this all started? What led you to believe that Kaylee was missing?
We got a notice about the car on Tuesday, the July 15th, that the car was actually had been towed and had been there since June 30th.
Okay, let me ask you this. When you finally confronted Casey and you asked her where Kaylee was, when was this?
It was somewhere around 7 o'clock when I finally met up with Casey. She said that Kaylee was with the babysitter, Zanny.
How long had you been with Casey before you called the police that evening?
Probably about an hour and a half.
Okay. And when you called the police, when did you first call the police? Well, how did you first contact the police, I should say?
First off, when Casey said that she wasn't going to take me to Kaylee right away because Kaylee had been with the sitter and she didn't want her to be disrupted that night by seeing me after so long, I got a little anxious because I thought Kaylee was with Casey. So when I took her, I drove her to the police department.
Okay, you drove
I drove Casey to the police department. Orange County,
Where was that?
On Pershing Road, close to my home. I just drove her there. I thought they would be open 24/7. I'm stupid. I didn't realize they closed at 5.
Okay. Did she attempt to get out of the car? Or
No,
like
absolutely, because I told her, tell me where Kaylee is, or I'm going to go to the police. She says she's with Zanny. Do what you want.
And did you try and make further contact with the police after that?
Yes, when I found out that they were closed, I dialed 911 from their parking lot.
Okay. And then what happened next?
Well, they were trying to figure out if we were Orange County or the city, and I said, forget it, I'll just drive home and then we'll know. Well, during my drive home, I was still talking to Casey about where Kaylee was, and she was with the sitter.
And when you got home, did you call the police?
No, when I got home, actually, my son was there waiting for me. He had found out about the car, and he was there waiting to speak with me. So it was probably about 45 minutes to an hour after I arrived home before I actually called the sheriff's department.
How
Or
long?
did a 911 call.
Okay, so
I'm
about
sorry.
45 minutes. About what time? I know you can't be exact.
Oh my God, I have no clue. It was probably somewhere.
Did Casey know you were calling the police?
Yes.
You called him in front of her?
She heard me calling. She was in her bedroom. I was in the living room.
Did she attempt to leave at any time?
No, not at all.
Okay. And you said you don't know exactly what time they arrived?
No.